Okay, let's go. Yep. Okay, we're ready to go. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And I think we have a real good program lined up. For you, some of you who have not maybe been here before, we do have our new athletic director. He's an old guy now. He's not new anymore. But Tom, stand up and get away from the curtain. So Tom Olsis, our new AD, doing a great job. This is, I think, a record. We've got 3 generations of Kriegers here. Unbelievable. Thanks for being here. I got a couple stories for you. I knew you'd say that. When Yogi was managing, he had Ricky Henderson, who stole every base in the world that he ever tried to steal. So the reporters were asking Yogi, how about that? What do you do? And he says, I just give him any opportunity he wants to steal. He can do it. He says, I give him the red light all day long. When Abe Lemons was the basketball coach, this is for these guys. When Abe Lemons was the basketball coach at Texas, he just took the program over. And they weren't doing very well, and he had to go to a press conference. And he opened up his press conference by saying, today, I wish I was a football coach because I could only lose 11 games then. This is supposed to be a true story. When Satchel Paige was playing in the Negro League, they brought him in to relieve. And he brought one baseball with him that they didn't know about. And the umpire gave him the other baseball. They had runners on first and second. He pauses, picks off the guy on first and picks off the guy on second. At one throw, basically. That's supposed to be a true story about Satchel Paige. Yogi said, I'm not in a slump. I'm just not hitting. And finally, that's it. Steve Spurrier said, I've named my quarterback 50 cents because he's only good for 2 quarters. John, we're going to introduce you first. We're going to have a little update on what's happened in the boys basketball program since last year and a little bit of what we can look forward to this coming year. And this is John's second year. He's happy for that. I know that. And he'll give us that rundown. So John Wyndham, thanks a lot for being here.
Sir.
You can stand up or sit down. Or
Since I know his routine, I teach a business law class. So we learned that a guy in Pennsylvania is going to sue Smart Water because it didn't make him smart. So I'm thinking about filing a lawsuit on Thin Mints because I'm not getting thin. But we've been pretty busy since last March. As a matter of fact, as soon as the season ended, 6 of the kids got in the gym right away. They worked all the way through the spring. What we also did was I contacted the 2 middle schools, asked for their top 8 kids from each school. We had 12 8th graders started working out with us in March. And we ended up keeping about 8 of those all the way through the spring, so they've got a little head start, which has been good because now they know the terminologies. Then April come along, and the 8th graders continued with us, but Susan and I started something new along with Mike's idea was we started a 5th grade program. You had about 50 girls. We had about 50 5th graders. What we did, boys had 8 teams. The only school that wasn't represented was Franklin, Grant had 2 teams, so we had a total of 8. We had a little round robin tournament in the Van Heck Center. And it turned out to be a great event because all the parents showed up, the kids all got excited, so we got a little bit more excitement in the basketball program. And that carries us into the May. All those kids continue working, but then June came, we had basketball camp Monday through Friday for all the high school kids. We had 3 days of camp for our 4th graders through 8th graders. We had 50 kids there. So I felt very confident and positive that things are going in the right direction. So we had 10 varsity kids go into Kansas City. I took them back to Kansas City. I was fortunate to have 5 of my friends I coached back there with offer to play us. It cost us nothing. It was the greatest trip in the world because the whole trip only cost the whole team about $600. I got 2 Airbnb places, and I also crashed at our home we owned there in Kansas City. Depends who you talk to. We didn't keep score because I didn't know what was going to expect, but we ended up being 4-1 by 1 count, 3-2 on another count. And only 1 game we played terrible. And the team we lost to was one of the top 8 teams in the state of Kansas last year, 5A program. And we all did this because Noah Jan twisted his ankle the day before the trip. So this all was without Noah, so we're very positive with Noah. With the group we have, we're going to be very, very good this year. Then we hosted an event in the Van Heck Center at the end of June. We had invited 3 schools from Illinois, Kewanee, Rock Island, Alleman, and Mendota. We had Williamsburg, us, and Keokuk. We had a little, what I call the battle on the river. The Illinois schools played the Iowa schools. We were 2-1. We lost to Kewanee by 6 points, and that was the day that Diekman got called up to varsity to do some pitching up at Cedar Rapids, so we played without him. But once again, we were very, very positive with what we got done in June. So even when we were done with June, the kids continued to work through July and August. So it's now we've been back since school. We've had open gyms on Mondays and Thursday nights. Kids are coming in Tuesday, Wednesday mornings at 7 a.m. and we have conditioning on Tuesday, Wednesday after school. So we're in the right direction, and I'm very confident the kids are all working hard. And we're going to be a lot better than we were last year. Of course, we couldn't be any worse than we were last year. And a couple weeks ago, I took Noah, Jan, Josh Diekman, Jake Thomas, and Briggs Miller over to Grandview University. They had a little recruiting showcase. Once again, Noah tweaked his ankle again after about an hour and a half, but the other 3 boys competed very well and got some interest in some college over there. So we're all very positive and very ambitious, and we can't wait for the season to start. We had 21 kids in the gym on Monday night. I think as we get closer to November, it'll be even more and more. So that's an update on our program. But once again, I've been very pleased with our kids. And thank you for your lovely center. It makes life easier for us.
Well, it cost me a lot of money, but.
Any questions?
We'll wait for questions.
My bad.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, Susan, you're up.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again for having us again this year. I really appreciate it. And it's going on year 11, so to be able to come here 11 years has been really special for me. It's one of my favorite days of the year, and I can't say enough about John. He's a great counterpart, and I've always had that here, but I've really appreciated his experience. I'm learning a lot just being around him, and I know they're gonna do well this year. I just appreciate how he's invested in those boys. And just to recap our bunch a little bit, first I always have to start with our staff. We have great continuity and stability in our staff, and I need that, and I think it's really good for our program. Scott Morrell will be assisting us with varsity again, and then we'll also have Rachel Hansen, great teacher in the district. She'll be running the JV team again. Neftali Lopez will have the freshmen again this year, and then we will bring back Mary Nitzel, former player, and to assist with JV again. A new addition to our staff, which will be a really, really good add for us, we're going to bring Emily Clemens-Wieskamp on as a volunteer assistant. She's working here locally after getting married this last summer. So to have her in the building, she just spent, obviously, her career at Western Illinois, had a fantastic career there. She actually spent last year, was going to be a graduate assistant, and then actually ended up in a full-time assistant college position a year ago, so she's got a year of that experience under her belt. And she's just a young lady who needs to be coaching. She's going to be really good for us. One of the better competitors I've ever seen at any level, coaching college or high school. And so to have her in the gym with our kids and working with our guards regularly, she'll be on the floor. That will be a really good add for us. And I feel spoiled having having former players now. That's 3 of our kids from our state run a few years ago coming back and giving back to our program, but then also they're the kind of kids you want rubbing off on your current players just by who they are, how they played, and what is expected in our system. So I'm really excited about our staff. Again, I can't commend them enough. They're great teachers of the game. That's hard to find, and they really care about kids. In regards to our team, We're kind of a team that's kind of coming of age. We've had to absorb some small classes. We've gone class of 2, class of 3, and now our senior class will again be 2. So we've got some growth underneath with bigger classes and classes that have now played a lot of minutes as freshmen and sophomores. We're excited about that. We are hoping to turn a corner. I was most excited right at the end of the year last year. We kind of kept waiting for this group to kind of just get confident and really cut it loose, and we saw it in our regional game against number 1 Iowa City High. Of course, that was our regional draw over there on the road. We got torched over there the first time, but to see the growth, and we really competed well that night. I think we cut it to 8 with 30 seconds to play, but it was just a different group. It's like they finally figured themselves out. So for us to just realize that about ourselves last February was just kind of what those kids needed to see for the kind of the light bulb to go on, so to speak. So a big emphasis for us this year as a staff is, we're going to bring a little bit of that highlight film out and say, you know what, guys, this is where we start. I mean, there's always going to be a little regression with the off season, but we want them to start in that place of confidence and start with that competitiveness, and they just looked at him as an equal as opposed to, oh man, we got to go to City High. So we're going to get there. I really like our maturity that I've seen in the off season. The kids are just getting older, stronger, and more confident. So hopefully now we have some varsity experience returning where we kind of had to navigate some injuries last year. We are going to navigate a little bit of the injury bug again this year. I'm sure you guys have seen, it was in the paper, Alicia Garcia will be out for the year. With her knee injury, she had to have surgery, which was August. It's a 6 to 8 month recovery, so she will be done for the year, which will be her junior year. But the good news for her is she'll be back with some margin, provided we continue to progress well. She'll be back with some margin before her senior year, and then obviously Alicia is committed to UNI. So she's got a lot of basketball ahead of her, a lot of high-level basketball ahead of her, and we need for her to be healthy in the big picture, and it was a situation where it wasn't going to get better. And of course, you hate to see a young lady go through a pretty invasive surgery and recovery, but at the same time, in the big picture, it gives her the best chance to have a full career. And actually for us too, as we look at that as a team, I really look at our 2 senior leaders. I look at our juniors coming back, and we do have the benefit of knowing that now, rather than having a Alicia-sized hole in January when you have to recover on the fly and you kind of have a system and a rhythm in place. So our kids are really, supportive of Alicia. They're great teammates. I love our chemistry, but I've seen our leaders step up already. It starts with our 2 seniors. Emily Webking is one, Riley Blake's another. We're really looking to Emily is going to be a good voice for us. She's really this last summer and fall just really found some refinement in her game. We're excited about that. And then Riley Blake's going to go play softball and run cross country at Milliken. She's our quiet leader, and Emily's more of our voice. So they'll be a nice pair to help lead us. And then we feel really good about our junior class stepping in too. Obviously, we won't have Alicia, but Zoe Long's played a ton this summer. She's gotten more confident. Just just turning the corner with not being hesitant. She's going to shoot the ball. She's extending her range. We expect Maddie Peterson, Avery Eagle to hopefully step in. They're going to be called upon to fill a gap, which makes them a little nervous, but they're also going to have an opportunity, and they're starting to see how they can have a big role this year, and we're going to need that. And then certainly some other guards. We've got Riley Moss coming back, who she just torments people defensively. It's really fun to watch, and she just gives us a nice edge and competitive edge. Emma Zillig is going to finish more at the rim, and we've also got Olivia Harmon, Erica Rams are coming in as juniors. So that's a solid junior class to help lead us with small senior class. Sophomores, probably what we haven't had is back-to-back good-sized classes for a while. We're going to bring up a pretty good-sized sophomore class, and we're excited. They went 15-2 as freshmen. They have some good athleticism, some good speed, so we should have some depth. And we're hoping to overall open up our system. We continue to try to do that. We just continued to lose folks, and we're a victim of numbers the last few years. So we want to open up our system. We hope to press a little bit more. We want to, have some interchangeability in our offense. We've been working for that so we can spread things out and people can't pick on us with matchups. So we're finally getting there as this group evolves, and certainly we're going to do some of that out of necessity. So I'm excited about our group. I'm probably most excited about their chemistry, how they work. I think we can get better. I continue to say that about this group. We'll get better because they practice right. They enjoy being in the gym together, and You know, my favorite question of the whole year this summer is, you know, we talk about some things at team camp and a hand goes up and, you know, you never really know what the question's going to be. And most of the time it's, you know, what kind of gear are we going to get? Or, you know, can we put this on the warm-up tape, stuff that very secondary to me, but it's important to them. And the question was, Coach, can we come in a few more mornings and shoot early this year? Because we do one morning a week. Last year we came in and it's 6:30 in the morning, and we'll come in and they'll get up some shots. And can we do more than one day this year? And I was like, you guys, that is music to my ears. I will be there. And today I brought donuts. So they are, they're up, they're at it. And as I start to see them filter back in from other sports and activities, there's just a good vibe. So we're pretty excited. We hope Alicia continues to, progress, and then hopefully as a group she'll have a role. But as a team, we're pretty excited about what we have coming back. And but yeah, I just continue to thank you for your support, and hopefully we'll dodge the injury bug for the year, and we'll just keep at it. But thanks again. So.
Okay, questions? Nobody's got a question? Roger, you gotta have a question.
John, you talked about you didn't really mention any names. Any young kids coming in that are going to contribute?
Well, Tom's son, I haven't had a chance to see him play because he's doing football and also injured his hand. He's one I've heard. We got a young man moved in from West Burlington to South, which shows a lot of promise. But right now, there's about 10 guys that put a lot of time in. 4 seniors, Sean Brown, Jake Thomas, Briggs Miller, Braden Seaman, and we've got 6 juniors. Trust me, I'm getting old. I might lose my memory here. So you got Noah, Josh, Trevor Diedrichs, Waker Clear, Nick Schultz. I'm forgetting one. And then Braden Hufford's a sophomore, and the other one will come to me in a second. Anyway, the nice thing is, we got 6 kids now that can dunk. I mean, I was like, wow. Because last year, we couldn't. I told the girls we're going to challenge them to a dunk contest since we lost them last year in the shooting contest, and say maybe we can beat them this year in the dunk contest.
That could happen.
Yeah. But that, you know, there's a good core group. The sophomores, a lot of them were involved in baseball, so I didn't see much of the sophomores. But with the freshman group, there's probably about 4 or 5. I mean, right now, Caleb Bettis, he's about 6'3", 6'4" freshman. He's in the gym all the time. And here's what I've tried to preach wherever I've coached, and my seniors are great. Briggs Miller and Jake Thomas have stepped up and being leaders already. Jake, whenever some young kid comes in the gym, Jake will take him over the side basket and work on one-on-one. And I told the kids, I said, your legacy to the program, not just wins and losses, but the impact that you have on the younger kids. And those guys are all doing it. I mean, once again, Sean's doing football, so I haven't seen as much as him, but he has been this last couple weeks shooting, and his shot's gotten a lot better. Because we always said to Sean, if you got to play, you got to be able to. Because I mean, I always jokingly told Terry Hoganson last year we could go down the river and couldn't hit the river with a basketball. This year we're going to have some kids that can shoot. I mean, Joel Witchers and I sit around and we watch him shoot and we're going, wow, we're going to actually put some points on the board. We won't have any of those 0 quarters like we had against Bettendorf last year. Now, if you listen to the kids, I asked them for their goals. The goals are realistic, but when you ask 10 kids their goals, we should be scoring 90 points a game. Wishful thinking, but the nice thing is nobody's gone exaggerated. They're all within their reach, but the fact that the kids have realistic goals is another plus I like.
Who are the teams you're going to have to battle in the conference, besides everybody?
Well, we know North Scott. I got the chance to go to the Sharp tournament at Rock Island and watched everybody. Looked like Bettendorf might be down, but then again, you never know in the summer. Assumption ended up losing to, I think, North Scott in the title. So North Scott's got their usual suspects. The 3 Davenport schools look like, on paper, we're looking at maybe 6 to 10 wins this year. We're being optimistic. I mean, I told the kids, our skill level's gotten so much better. The part of the game, I think all our athletes, not just basketball, I think all our athletes need to work on is mental toughness. I mean, because when some things start to go the wrong way, we don't respond the right way. And I've, had a talk with one of my former assistants, who's my first assistant ever, and we talked about that. And he says, when you have multiple sports athletes, they got to be involved all the time in the summertime. And meaning, lift in the morning, football, get in the gym, get some shots up, go to baseball practices. That's how you develop mental toughness when you're working on all 3 sports to get better at all. long answer to a
That's a
question.
good answer.
Well,
Susan, who are your,
Yeah, I think we only get 3 non-conference games, and it's really important for us to load our schedule as much as possible, just for kind of how we're seen in the eyes of the state for regional purposes. So we'll keep Cedar Rapids Prairie, who will be strong again. We'll keep Linn-Mar, and then certainly City High. That's a really important one for us. Just because if we compete well with those kind of just tend to flag the state for us a little bit with how competitive we are. In the league, I hope we can make a step up. We did kind of out-graduate some folks in regards to a lot of programs turned over, with the exception of North Scott and Davenport North, who are going to be very senior heavy this year. I think they're probably the front runners, but at the same time, I think you always have to expect, the PVs and Assumptions and Bettendorfs of the world to be competitive. Those are always dogfights, but at the same time, they've all graduated a minimum of 5 impact players last year. So we have an opportunity to gain if we can, get where we need to be. So that's exciting for us. And then certainly as we look, long range, we've got an opportunity with kind of a sophomore, junior, heavy group, that hopefully if we can continue to progress, turn a corner as these other teams kind of around us and above us age out a little bit. But I still feel like we can be competitive this year. But there's the top of the league, and thankfully it's continued to be strong. I know sometimes our league gets a kind of a short end of a stick in the state with how competitive we are, because the CIML is always loaded, and the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City is always loaded. So I'm excited when it's competitive, but hopefully we can turn a bit of a corner here.
is there any rules changes in boys,
not that I'm aware of.
girls?
Not really, but they all want to talk about uniforms and decorum, so I just soon, deal with something that has to do with the game, but nothing too crazy.
I see that shootout in Cedar Rapids, they're gonna use the clock.
Yeah, that's right.
Shot clock,
Mm-hmm.
so that'll be interesting.
If you want to make an investment, go buy them all up now.
By what?
The shot clocks.
Oh,
Because if ever goes a shot clock, buy your investment and retire the next day. So just give you an inside tip.
There.
is Burlington remaining on the schedule?
Yeah, without,
Oh, yeah.
for us,
Mm-hmm. As a non-conference, one non-conference.
Just one?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Does that go in the middle of the conference schedule shuffle? So is it in the middle of the conference, or is it at the beginning?
I believe that's a January 7
January 7.
game for us. Yeah, we'll have a couple right there back to back.
So will every school have a bye then?
Mhm.
One?
Ours is towards the end.
Yeah, we have an open, I think there's always an open date in the league slate, and it seems really late this year, but yeah, we'll still play 5 non-conference games, but I said 3 probably because
But, I
thinking
mean,
ahead, but yeah.
Like on a Tuesday night,
Mhm.
one of the schools will not be playing. on
Yeah.
Tuesday night.
Oh, ours is on Friday.
Friday,
Tuesday or
yeah.
Friday,
Mhm.
right.
So-
Our schedule is such where I looked at it, we're all on the road every Tuesday night just about.
Is that right?
I'm gonna have Willie Nelson sitting next to me singing the song.
Well, that's all he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So DeWitt comes in the league next year full bore,
Yep.
so. Gotta be some other questions, you guys got questions all the time.
We got the pleasure of seeing the girls in softball come back into prominence. Wondering, are any of the softball girls playing basketball?
Yes, we do, and I loved seeing that too, and I always love when they're in those kinds of competitive situations for the same reasons John was talking about, and getting to that level and just that excitement when you feel that. And yeah, we've got Riley Moss, Olivia Harmon, Erica Ramser. There's a few that play softball out of season 2, but that seems to be a good carryover. I would say soccer and softball are becoming our 2. I mean, we have some volleyball players, but that's becoming our more competitive carryover, which is a good thing. So yeah, we try to work, hand in hand, and Steve's been great back and forth, and it was great to see them tap into some success and just get a taste of that, because it does get exciting, and it is motivating for those kids. But yeah, it was great to see them do well.
Well, Roger was at Churchill Downs, he could probably talk about the racing that he was involved in. That's why he wasn't here last time, right?
I can't remember what, I think
can't remember, you weren't here?
That wasn't.
But the bad, you know, that it was very nice of the school and Mr. McGorry and Mike to have the Van Heck Center name up there, you know, but now my wife's mad at me all the time because every place she goes, they want to know when I died. So, you know, there's pluses and minuses. Okay, well, thanks for coming. It's a great program. We really appreciate what? Well, next month, this place is closed. You can see unless you want to come and help build the fun zone that are put out there. But stay tuned. You know, possibly we can get out to the school, or you know, we'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, we can start there and go to some of the new stuff. So that's what we'll probably try and do. Okay. All right. Thanks.